Here today with Leroy Platt, who is a former general manager of a dry cleaners and owner of the collectibles store From Ashes to Empires in Reddington, New Jersey. And today we're here to discuss Leroy's current situation and things that he's been through. And we'll just get started from there. Leroy, if you could start off by telling us a little bit about where you're from and some of the circumstances that have brought you to this place in your life.
Well, I'm a New Jersey native. To be exact, I grew up in Flemington, Hunterdon County. We're famous here for a lot of things, from Flemington furs to discount stores to the Lindbergh trial that happened right on our courthouse steps. And I've been privy through many of the years to be associated with different facets in the town of Flemington and Hunterdon County itself. And I was able to work with a lot of different organizations, as far as helping people in need. And unfortunately, it has come to a point in my life where now the necessity of help is needed on my behalf. So that's where we currently stand.
So could you tell us a little bit about your involvement there in Flemington and what kind of work you did and how that's come to be an impossibility for you?
Well, I worked in a lot of different areas in Hunterdon County. I managed the dry cleaning chain, a nationally recognized chain called Plaza Cleaners. And I was the general manager of all our locations at that point in time. There was 8 that I would travel around to, and the main hub was in Flemington itself, as well as, maintaining my storefront, which was on Main Street in White House Station in Reddington. And, it kind of went south after losing my house in Hurricane Ida. That was September 1st of 2021. And I had some prior issues before with relatives passing away, my mom and my fiance. And then I lost my house in 15 minutes in Hurricane Ida. Within the flood, I had 7 feet of water.
And tell us a little bit about, I've come to realize that you have stage 5 kidney failure. How did that come to happen?
It was a cold September night, the 28th of September, and I noticed that it was going to get chilly. I actually had some soup, and I got deathly ill after ingesting some soup, and I had to call the paramedics. And at that point, I had legally passed away, and woke up 3 days later from a coma. And my kidneys had ultimately failed, and I wound up with a condition called nephrotic syndrome. It is a rare kidney issue. Basically strikes 5 people in about 150,000 people. And I am in what they call the final stage, or the death stage, which is stage 5 of renal failure. So there's 3 options according to the doctor. I get a kidney and I live. I don't get a kidney and I pass away. Or I get a kidney and my body rejects it and I still pass away. So I have about 33% chance survival if I can ultimately receive a new kidney. But I do have a lot of health issues that are ultimately hindering the acceptance at any hospital to put me on a donor list, because it's quite possible that I would not make it through the surgery, and that would just be a waste of a good kidney.
And I think it's safe to say that many challenges have presented themselves in one massive wave, rather than, spread out over 50 or 60 years or something like that. I think it's safe to say that you've been trying to tackle many different challenges all at the same time, and you've reached out to local and regional sources of support, but they have not really pulled through the way that you would have hoped. Can you say a little bit about that?
Yeah. I've had a long-standing relationship with quite a few organizations here in Hunterdon County, and unfortunately, when the shoe is on the other foot, they don't necessarily recoup what I've given them. And I've given them a lot of my time, money, leadership, and effort, raising awareness and anything that could benefit the homeless population and those that have disabilities, such as myself. I've suffered 2 heart attacks and 4 strokes amongst everything else that I have going on. And unfortunately, after losing my house in Hurricane Ida for the past 5 years, I have been homeless and trying to receive any kind of funding or credit or any kind of help whatsoever from Hunterdon County as a whole has just been a waste of time. And unfortunately, it fell on a lot of deaf ears up until a point where I reached out to a woman in Trenton that actually felt so bad for my story that she pushed for a housing voucher. So I am trying to obtain a permanent residence, because once I can get a permanent residence, then I can really start to achieve health care and proper dialysis treatment and such. It's just been very cumbersome in general, trying to meet all the requirements that I need to and get to these facilities and make appointments and just try to get healthy so I can get back on my feet again.
And I think at the time that we met, you mentioned that you've been living on a bench for quite some time. You want to say anything about that and the experience you've been through? Give you an idea.
That's 100% the truth. There have been nights that I have been able to stay in a motel, but for the most part, I was living in my car until my car was no longer an option and had basically failed and had to basically been I got rid of my car. So I was left with no shelter whatsoever, at least before I had heat and air conditioning and stuff and some kind of shelter from the rain. But I stayed at a strip mall where I used to work, and I'm still there, and the people are nice enough at the pizza place to allow me to stay on their bench outside, and
This has been your pickup location for the rideshare driver that takes you to and from dialysis clinic too, correct?
It is.
Now, how long has it been your pickup location?
Probably about a year now. Most people don't realize that my facility is more than a half an hour away from where I am. It's extremely expensive. And when I say expensive, it's about $65 each way, 3 days a week. So it's more than $300 a week. And now you times that by a month. It's more than I generate in cash, because I cannot work anymore. I'm permanently disabled. My vision is failing. I can only walk really with a walker any bit of distance, and I'm extremely clumsy on my feet. But I'm mentally well.
And do you have also some problems seeing?
Yes, I have a tremendous amount of difficulty with my eyes. I receive needles in my eyes on a monthly basis, and that is a injection that is called Vabysmo. It is extremely expensive. It's $2,500 per needle, and I get multiple needles.
And this is to correct?
This is to correct a problem that is called vitreous hemorrhaging. When your eye cannot see properly, your body tells your eyes to create new vessels, but the new vessels burst under the pressure of your eyes, and unfortunately you have these things called fissures, or blood splatters, some people call them, and it's or floaters, and it impacts your vision to such an extent where it's almost like the eyes are being hindered by like octopus arms, like you're seeing constant movement of multi levels of blood and protein in your eyes that have nowhere to go because they're not draining properly.
What would be the best outcome that you can imagine in your current circumstance?
Right now, I'm really trying to focus on getting a place to live. That basically is priority number one, because I believe that everything else could fall into place if I could achieve that goal. And it's no longer impossible. Before, I was very, destitute, and I was depressed and kind of confined to living on the bench. But this government housing voucher has given me a bit of hope and sunshine, and it's a promissory note that they'll help me with my rent if I can find someplace affordable.
And what do you need to make that happen?
I need somebody to be able to provide me with monetary means for a security deposit on the apartment. And you know, I'm not one to really ask for help a lot of times, but this is really a necessity to get me back on my feet, to get me healthy. And like I said, once I have a domicile that's permanent, I'll be able to get everything else that I need back into order, and that's properly eating with a kitchen facility and refrigerated goods, and I'll be able to eat more nutritious meals. I won't have to go to fast food places. I'll be able to cook. I'll be able to wash dishes and my clothes, and you know, basically get a good night's sleep, which a lot of times I can't get on the bench because there are things going on around me, you know, people and weather and animals and things like that. So I'm just hoping that, you know.
What do you have to say to anybody that might be willing to assist you?
I would be eternally grateful, and just know that $1 can make a difference. I don't expect people to give hundreds and hundreds of dollars. If they can, that's great. If you can donate just $1, that's monumental, because 100 people donating $1 is $100, and it definitely makes a difference.
Well, we want to thank you for your time and your testimony today, and we're going to keep you in our thoughts and prayers and hope that everything works out.
Thank you so much.
God bless you.